Joan Fontaine won the Oscar for Best Actress for 1941's Suspicion. In the film, she plays Lena Aysgarth, a shy heiress who suspects that her charming husband is attempting to kill her. In fact, Joan Fontaine is the only actor to win an Oscar for an Alfred Hitchcock film. Joan beat out fellow nominees Bette Davis in The Little Foxes, Greer Garson in Blossoms in the Dust, Barbara Stanwyck in Ball of Fire, and most famously her older sister Olivia de Havilland in Hold Back the Dawn. This was Joan's second of 3 Best Actress Oscar nominations. Her first was the year prior for the Best Picture winner Rebecca. Fontaine was heavily favored to win the Oscar, but lost to Ginger Rogers and Kitty Foyle. Her third nomination was for 1943's The Constant Nymph. She lost that year to Jennifer Jones in The Song of Bernadette. Joan Fontaine continued to act until 1994 and passed away in 2013. Happy birthday, Joan Fontaine. Joan de Havilland made her screen debut in 1935, following in the footsteps of big sister Olivia. In 1939, she starred in The Women and Gunga Din, but her big break came in 1940 as the lead in Alfred Hitchcock's Best Picture winning Rebecca. The film was a success and Joan earned the first of 3 Best Actress Oscar nominations. The next year, she starred in Suspicion and won the Oscar for Best Actress, even beating Olivia. In fact, Joan Fontaine is the only actor to ever win an Oscar for a Hitchcock film. She then starred in The Constant Nymph, Jane Eyre, Ivanhoe, Island in the Sun, and Tender is the Night. She even performed on stage and in television. Joan lived a glamorous jet-set lifestyle, but it's her legendary sibling rivalry with Olivia that has endured the test of time. Joan once said, "I got married first, got an Academy Award first, had a child first. If I die, she'll be furious because again, I'll have got there first." Joan Fontaine passed away in 2013 at the age of 96.
Sometimes, sisterhood can be very complicated. You can be each other's best friend, or like in this case, you can be arch rivals. Olivia de Havilland and Joan Fontaine were sisters. They were only 15 months apart, and they were both old Hollywood actresses. Both sisters won Lead Actress Academy Awards. Olivia had 2, Joan had 1, and to this day, they are the only siblings to win Lead at the Academy Awards. Growing up, these two were very competitive. Olivia was more outgoing. She was favored by their mother. Joan was often sick as a child, and she couldn't do everything her big sister did, so she lived under Olivia's shadow. She talked about how Olivia would torment her by reading aloud from the Bible and describing the crucifixion scene in great detail, which scared the shiz out of Joan. She would have to wear Olivia's hand-me-downs, but before handing over the clothes, she would rip them to shreds, and Joan would have to sew the clothes back together. They took an IQ test, where Joan's score was a little bit higher, and she said Olivia attacked her. According to Joan, they were swimming, and Olivia jumped on her and broke her collarbone. Joan was a little bit more talkative about their rivalry, like little sister vibes. Fast forward, they moved to Los Angeles, and Olivia begins doing her thing in Hollywood. She's becoming a successful actress. She's got a studio contract. She often co-stars with Errol Flynn, who was married, and they did not have a relationship, but I think they did. Joan is like, hold on, wait a minute, I also want to be an actress. So Olivia and their mother say, okay, but you can't use de Havilland. You've got to use Fontaine, which was their stepfather's last name. Olivia is in Gone with the Wind. Joan starts working with Hitchcock. Olivia starts dating Jimmy Stewart, and you guessed it, our cameo man, Howard Hughes. But later, Joan wrote that Howard tried to propose to her while he was with Olivia. Messy boots. These two are constantly throwing shade at each other. Joan said she was offered the role in Gone with the Wind, but they wanted someone plain, so she suggested her older sister. Olivia wasn't much better because she said she was offered the lead role in Hitchcock's Rebecca, but she turned it down and recommended her little sister. In 1942, both sisters were nominated for Best Lead Actress Academy Awards. Both were seated at the same table, and Joan won the award. Reports say Olivia was like, yes, we did it, and she tried to hug her sister, and Joan just walked off. But later, Joan said she was in shock. They continue working. They're booked. They're busy. Joan gets married first. When Olivia married Marcus Goodrich, Joan was quoted as saying, I don't know anything about him except that he was married 4 times and wrote 1 book. I wish it was the other way around. So when Olivia won her first Oscar for Best Actress in 1947, Joan tried to hug her backstage, and Olivia walked right on by her. Everyone in Hollywood knew about the bad blood between them. They lived separate lives, but they would get together occasionally. There was further tension because Joan was estranged from her kids, and they still spoke to Olivia. Everything came to a head when in 1975 their mother passed away from cancer. Olivia was with her mother. Joan was on tour. Olivia didn't invite Joan. Joan came to the services anyway. Joan once said, "I got married before her. I won the Oscar before Olivia. And if I pass away before her, she'll undoubtedly be livid." And she did. She passed away in 2013 at the age of 96. The next day, Olivia released a statement saying she was shocked and saddened by the news. And in 2020, Olivia de Havilland passed away at the age of 104. Both Olivia de Havilland and Joan Fontaine were amazing actresses, so it's a little bit sad they're known for their rivalry. But personally, I think Joan was jealous of her older sister. What do you guys think?